Have you ever felt the sting of rejection? That deep, gut-wrenching feeling when you're turned away by someone you love, by your family, or even by society. It's a universal human experience, a wound that can shape our entire lives. But what if I told you that even a god, one of the all-powerful Olympians, was rejected for being imperfect? What if that very rejection was the key that unlocked his true power? Today, we diving deep into one of the most powerful stories from Greek mythology to understand how our deepest wounds can become our greatest strengths. Meet Hephaestus, the Greek god of fire, craftsmanship, and creation. He was the divine artisan, the master engineer of Olympus. He built the thrones of the gods, forged Zeus's thunderbolts, and created Pandora, the first human woman. His skill was unparalleled, his creations legendary. But Hephaestus was different from the other gods. He was born with a physical disability, described as being lame or having a malformed foot. In the dazzling, perfect world of Olympus, where beauty and physical flawlessness were everything, Hephaestus was an outcast from the moment he was born. This stark contrast between his extraordinary talent and his social exclusion is where our story truly begins. It's a story about the pain of not fitting in, a feeling many of us know all too well. The first and most devastating rejection Hephaestus faced came from his own mother, Hera, the queen of the gods. Horrified and ashamed by her son's imperfection, she did the unthinkable. She threw him from the peak of Mount Olympus. Imagine that, the ultimate primal abandonment. This fall from the heavens isn't just a dramatic event in a myth. It's a powerful symbol of parental rejection. It represents the trauma of being told, by the very person who should love you unconditionally, that you are not enough. It's a wound to your identity, a feeling of not belonging anywhere that can echo through your entire life. This story taps into a deep-seated fear we all have, the fear of being cast out by our own tribe, our own family. His disability became a constant, physical reminder of his rejection. In our modern world, we can see this as a psychological metaphor. We might not have been thrown from a mountain, but many of us carry our own perceived imperfections. Maybe it's not a physical trait. Maybe it's a sense of being socially awkward, not smart enough, or not successful enough. We live in an age of curated perfection, where social media feeds are filled with flawless bodies, amazing careers, and perfect relationships. This constant comparison can make our own insecurities feel like gaping wounds, creating a deep sense of shame and a fragile self-image, just as Hephaestus felt among the beautiful gods of Olympus. After his fall, Hephaestus landed in the ocean and was raised in isolation by sea nymphs. This period of exile, away from the judgment and scorn of the other gods, became a psychological incubation period. When you're removed from the constant need for external validation, something powerful can happen. You're forced to turn inward. In his solitude, Hephaestus didn't just survive. He discovered his true calling. His pain, his loneliness, his feeling of being an outsider, all became fuel for his creativity. He began to forge, to build, to create things of incredible beauty and complexity. It was in the quiet of his underwater cave, far from the critical eyes of Olympus, that his true genius began to emerge. This shows us that sometimes, being removed from the crowd is exactly what we need to find out who we truly are. The forge itself is a potent symbol for psychological transformation. Think about it. A forge is a place of intense, almost violent heat and pressure. Raw, unrefined metal is plunged into the fire, beaten with a hammer, and completely reshaped. The fire represents the intense emotional pain we experience, the anger, the grief, the shame of rejection. The act of forging is the process of taking that raw, painful experience and actively working with it. It's about transforming our suffering into something new, something strong, something useful. Hephaestus didn't just build objects, he was rebuilding himself. He was forging a new identity, one not based on the approval of others, but on his own proven competence and skill. He turned his pain into power. But even with his incredible talent, a part of Hephaestus still craved the acceptance he was denied as a child. He began creating extraordinary works for the gods who had cast him out. He crafted intricate jewelry, ingenious automatons, and unbreakable armor. On one level, this was his way of getting back to Olympus. But on a deeper, psychological level, It represents that universal human desire to be seen and valued, especially by those who once rejected us. It's the drive to prove our worth, to shout to the world, "Look what I can do. I am worthy of your respect. I am worthy of your love." This silent search for validation is a powerful motivator, driving us to achieve incredible things, but it can also keep us tethered to our original wound. Eventually, Hephaestus was brought back to Olympus, his skill too great to be ignored. He was even given Aphrodite, the goddess of love and beauty, as his wife. It seems like the ultimate validation, right? The imperfect god marries the goddess of perfection. But this relationship was doomed from the start. Aphrodite was unfaithful, most famously with Ares, the god of war. For Hephaestus, this betrayal was more than just a heartbreak. It was a devastating repetition of his past trauma. It reactivated all those old wounds of rejection and not being good enough. Psychologically, this pattern is incredibly common. People who have experienced early abandonment often find themselves drawn to difficult or unstable relationships. The fear of being left again can become a self-fulfilling prophecy, creating a cycle of emotional insecurity and pain. Hephaestus embodies what psychologists call the wounded creator archetype. This is the person who transforms their personal pain into incredible creative or productive work. We see this archetype everywhere. The musician who writes a heartbreaking album after a breakup, the scientist who dedicates their life to finding a cure for a disease that affected their family, the entrepreneur who builds a company to solve a problem they faced themselves. Their wound becomes their creative fuel. Their suffering gives them a unique perspective and a relentless drive. They channel their inner turmoil into art, innovation, and progress, often creating things that benefit all of humanity. Their greatest works are born from their deepest pain. However, there's a shadow side to this archetype. While the wound can be a source of great strength, it can also lead to deep-seated resentment. The wounded creator might harbor a grudge against the world that hurt them. They can develop an excessive need for validation, constantly seeking praise to soothe their inner emptiness. Despite their success, they may feel emotionally isolated, finding it incredibly difficult to trust others and form genuine, intimate connections. They build walls around their heart to protect themselves, but those same walls can keep love out. The very thing that drives their genius can also be the source of their profound loneliness, just as it was for Hephaestus in his forge. This ancient story is more relevant today than ever. We live in a culture of constant, low-grade rejection. It's the job application that gets no reply, the social media post that gets no likes, the feeling of being left out when you see friends gathering without you online. Modern beauty standards and a relentless performance culture create a constant environment of comparison, leading to a collective sense of inadequacy. We are all, in some way, being judged against an impossible standard of perfection, just like Hephaestus was on Olympus. We're all facing our own forms of rejection every single day. So, what can we learn from the god of the forge? The story of Hephaestus offers a path towards psychological integration and healing. His journey teaches us that rejection, no matter how painful, does not have to define your worth. Your value is not determined by the opinions or actions of others, even those you love. True strength isn't about having a perfect, unblemished life. It's about what you do with your wounds. Hephaestus becomes a powerful symbol of resilience. He didn't magically heal his lame foot, but he transformed his emotional lameness into a source of unparalleled creative power. He shows us that we can take the fire of our suffering and use it to forge a stronger, more authentic self. Here's the key idea I want to leave you with. The great lesson from the forge of Hephaestus. Strength isn't built by avoiding rejection. It's built by transforming it. Your scars don't have to be sources of shame. They can be the blueprints for your greatest creations. So, the next time you feel the sting of rejection, I invite you to think of Hephaestus. Ask yourself, what can I build with this fire? How can I forge this pain into power? The answer might just change your life. Thanks for watching. If this story resonated with you, hit that like button and subscribe for more journeys into the psychology of myth. See you next time.